Hey there, Julia here. At the end of June, I attended the St. Louis Pen Show. It was my first time at that show. And if you're curious, the St. Louis Pen Show is more of a mid-size show, at least in my show experience. I think it would be a really great first show. It's small enough to not be overwhelmed, and you can get in for nib appointments pretty easy, but it has a nice variety of vendors, makers, activities, and workshops. They also had door prizes, giveaways, a silent auction, and the Pen Show After Dark experience was fun as well. For this show, I lightly volunteered and helped out at the Tasha and Palisades table. There, I learned a lot and got to spend some time with those pens finally. I typically just walk right by that table just because the pens are just way out of my price range and they're beautiful and I don't want to get sucked in. Sujin was a pleasure and super generous, and I enjoyed the time that I spent helping at the Tasha table. In this video, I'm going to show you what I brought back: pens, Nib Grinds, and yes, I broke my ink buying ban, but that was pretty much planned. I didn't want to buy bottled ink at the beginning of the year because I knew that pen shows were coming up, Japan is coming up, all of that. So this was my first time buying ink this year. So let's start with those. I actually had a bigger ink list, but I only came back with 3. So I think I did pretty well. And the first one that I grabbed was the Diamine Forever ink, and this is in Raven. Pretty boring, I know. It's a permanent black ink. The only other permanent black ink I have is Platinum Carbon Black. And though I like that ink quite a bit, it does get a little gunky in my pens, and so I just wanted to try something different. Diamine always has great formulations, so I wanted to see how their permanent ink fared. So yeah, it does seem to flow really well. I need to get it in a pen and just let it sit as it does to see how it fares over time in a pen. But I think permanent inks are great for outlines, for doodles, and things that I want to color back over. I also got the Forever ink in the smoky mauve color. I've seen this entire line swatched, and this one really called to me. And this is just another one that I thought would be nice for artwork, outlines, doodles, that type of thing. So yeah, you can see that this one has so much more variation in the swatch, but it's so pretty in writing. I was dipping all of my new pens in this ink just to see the writing, and it is beautiful. I love it. So we have that, and then the last ink that I got was from Amarillo Stationery. This is a collaboration between Sailor and Tinterias, and it was a set of, I think, 4 inks, all food related, and I got blue corn, and the color is lovely. I think some of the other ones were agave, cilantro, refried beans, and blue corn. How I remember that, no clue. Let's take a look at this swatch. So you can see in writing, almost black. It's a very dark, moody purple. I think it's going to be great for Halloween time. I love a witchy type bluish purple, so really enjoyed that. All right, I also stopped by Inky Converters and grabbed a couple of these super cute bottle stickers. Look how cute they are. I love these. I actually have one on the back of my pin show insert here, and so I had to grab a couple more. Also from Inky Converters, I grabbed these two stamps. I already had a third one, which I can show you actually here as well. That looks like the J. Urban bottle there, that stamp. And so I grabbed kind of a generic bottle. It may be like a diamine shape, but I got that one. And then I got the Pilot Iroshizuku version of the stamp as well. And I like these because you just set it down. I'm terrible at stamping. And you press, and then you have your stamp. It is permanent ink, so I can go back in here with an ink and swatch in there and it won't smear and get gross. So we have that one. I thought these would be super cute for my planner, this ink journal, just documenting like new ink days or on swatch cards, that type of thing. So these are super cute and I love that they're compact with the ink kind of self-contained in here. All right, let's talk about custom nib grinds. I absolutely use pin shows to stock up on my custom nib grinds. That's usually my priority at any show or event that I go to that is pin related. So I came back with 6 custom nib grinds from Matthew Chin and Kirk Spear of Pen Realm. Now what I did, I took a little container of just the nib units for most of them and 1 pen, this Esterbrook Esty. I took this pen and 4 little nib units, 4 grinds, and then I had a couple of pens that I just took to get ground on directly. So I'm just gonna dip these in Pilot Blue since I have it handy here. And the first one that I got a grind on is on the Esterbrook Coffee Monsters Co. nib. And I do plan on leaving this nib in this pen. Usually I do not store my nibs with my Yovo compatible pens, but this one, I'm gonna leave it in there. And for this one, I got a cursive italic. You can see that the downstrokes are thicker than our cross strokes here. But it's a really nice, a little bit slicey cursive italic. Usually I go for the cursive smooth italic where those edges of the nib are a little more rounded out, but the cursive italic is perfect on this. Okay, this next grind I did not plan to get this one. I actually planned on getting the Kadashi grind from Matthew. But after trying this grind, I was like, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun. So I got the beak point. And at first glance, it looked like this nib is just f***ed. But it is indeed intentional. So you can see that really severe bend on the nib. And let me show you how this writes. On the writing side, you get a pretty normal nib. I think whenever it's inked up, it will be more like a fine. But when you reverse it, you now get a fude nib. So you can write super thick. Let's do it on this piece of paper too. So writing side, reverse side. Awesome, I found for underlining things if I'm writing, you are awesome. I can go back around and be like, yeah, it's just so fun, and it's so expressive and just a really neat nib. So I'm super excited that I guess, got a wild hair and was like, let's do it. Okay, the last 4 nib grinds are all from Kirk Spear. I had one appointment booked with him, and I mentioned that I may have more / wanted to sign up for another one, and he had some time open right before my appointment, and so I just had an extended appointment with Kirk, and we had a good time talking about the nib grinding process and all of that. And the first one that I got was his needlepoint grind. And so this one is pretty much like an ultra extra fine. It ranges as far as millimeters for writing between 0.2 and 0.25. And he just has the nicest, smoothest, well-flowing needlepoint. Lovely minimal feedback. I think this would be great on kind of your normal day-to-day copy paper, or just paper that's not as fountain pen friendly. Also to get into those small little planner grids sometimes. But even so, it's just so nice. I also had it on my nib wish list to get the Scythe nib, which is a curved architect grind. And with this one, you get less variation from your downstrokes and cross strokes than you would a traditional architect. So yeah, you can see the variation there, but it is more subtle. And I think it works really well with my writing too, with the way that I write, because I do tend to rotate a little bit to the left like this. And so it just hits it at the perfect spot and it feels really comfortable. I enjoy it. So yeah, the Scythe. All right, next up, I wanted to get one of my favorite grinds on the Vanishing Point because I just acquired this pen right before leaving for St. Louis on the virtual pen show. It's been on my wish list for a couple of years, I do believe. And I didn't want to pay full price for it, and a really good deal came about on Instagram, and so I jumped on that. But it came with a medium nib, which I already have one. And so with the way I like to swap nibs, I'm like, why do I need 2 medium Vanishing Point nib units? So anyways, on this, I got the Imperial grind. So excited. I feel like I've talked the Imperial grind to death, but on the front side, you get a writing experience similar to a cursive italic. But on the back side, on the reverse side, you get a thicker writing experience. Almost a monoline, not quite. Flip it over. So it works beautifully on the VP nib. So funny because this is my 3rd Imperial grind. I have one on a Yovo, one on a Bach, and then one for a quick draw. So what can I say? I love it. And then finally for nib grinds, I got Kirk's Tonto grind on this Leonardo Momento Magico, which this nib does not come out, at least easily. And I wasn't in love with this medium nib. Plus, I have the kind of companion pen to this in the Sea Sand, and that has a medium nib, so I thought it'd be fun to do something a little different on this one. The Tonto grind is one of 2 variations from Kirk that is similar to the Naginata Togi style grind. It has a teardrop shape. I doubt we'll be able to see it without me pulling out my little magnifier situation, but Just trust me. The line variation is dependent on the angle. The second version of this grind is called the katana grind, which I have as well. And that one doesn't vary as much when you change your angle. So they're similar grinds, but just with that little difference. See if we can demonstrate that here. So I'm a little higher up. See, I get thinner lines here. I lean down to it and I get thicker lines. So just a little bit of subtle variation there. Whenever you're writing, you know, you'll get some different things happening as you're writing. So yeah, love all the nib grinds. I was joking that I am trying to catch them all, it seems like. And I think I'm about due for another custom grind video where I show you these grinds and a few more super close up under the microscope or the magnifying glass. It's not a microscope. And talk about them all together like that. It's on my list. We'll do it. Okay, let's talk pens. I went in thinking that I was only going to get like 2, maybe 3 pens. And I actually only had that much space in pen cases when I came, but I did not follow through. Let's talk about the silent auction. They had a variety of pens, both vintage and modern pens, journals, food baskets, all types of things on silent auction that went for I think like a day and a half, and you would bid on them. And I ended up winning for half of the retail price, I'll also say. I got this gorgeous Fine Writing International pen. This is called the Finestro model, and this colorway and edition is called the Forest Rain. It's a limited edition from 2020. It was exclusive to Endless Pens, and when I saw it on the table, I was like, yeah, I feel like I need this in my life. I had no idea what this pen was, nothing. So I did do some research before placing a bid, and it's so pretty. It's number 13 out of 100, and it's an eyedropper pen. So you just unscrew the grip section here. Oh no, it's not, but it can be eyedroppered, I'm pretty sure. I didn't even open this. Okay, so it does have a cartridge converter, but I'm pretty sure it can also be eyedroppered. Wow. Okay. I didn't even see the converter in there. So yeah, this is a beautiful pen. This has an extra fine nib on it. I love the striations. It looks like a vintage pen, but it's not. Definitely not bad for 50 bucks, I will say. Next up, I knew I was going to get this pen. There was no question in my mind. I asked Kirk about it before I even got there. It was the first thing I went to before the show even opened fully, and it is the TWSBI Eco Serpentine and Bronze. As soon as TWSBI announced this pen, it was Taylor Swift rep coded for me, and so yeah, I knew I was going to get it. It's beautiful. I got it in a fine nib, which is my favorite TWSBI Eco size. And yeah, I know there's some variations in the swirl pattern, but I think I got a really pretty one. I have some white and black there and in this bottom section too. I then got a really good deal on this. This is from Piper Trading Company, which if you haven't heard of them, this is like the sister company to Franklin Christoph. Same maker, different company. And I love Kimberly, who was working the table. She is just the sweetest human ever. And they had a nice deal going on with these pens. I want to say it was like $76 or so, but I just thought this one was gorgeous. And the model of this pen is called Second Empire. And I've just been making up resin names because it's fun and I forget to ask, and I couldn't find it online. So I am calling this one Temple Salt. This one has a fine nib. I also had it on my list to check out Little Hollow Customs. I was following them on Instagram and was just in awe of all the things that they were making for this show and in general. And I walked away with this beauty, very much so in this vibe with the inks. But this is their Mistress model. And again, I did not ask about the resin pour, but I do know that this resin was poured in-house. Sometimes they do outsource for their blanks, but this one was poured in-house, and so I've named it Nightberry. This may be a weird thing to like, but see how this is like dipped in here, like carved out? I don't know what it is, but it's just really nice to rub my finger on, as odd as that is. But it's the little things. It's super comfortable. I like the little dip here on the grip section as well. And it's just a nice size. I got this one with a medium nib. But yeah, I also like the really subtle shimmer and glitter in there. Next up, it was recommended to me to go check out TriStar Studio. They're out of Tennessee. Luke from Papa J Studio visited the show for a couple of days, and Scott from TriStar is his mentor and someone that helped him learn how to make pens. And he was like, you got to go check them out. Here's a pen that I just got from over there. Just go. And so I did, and was blown away by the beautiful work that was over there. And I got this. It's so pretty. And when you open it, the grip section is totally different, but matches. And a lot of his pens were like that, where you would get all types of different wood finishes here, and then you opened it and you just did not know what you were going to get on the grip section. It was so cool. Some of the color matches were just like A+. The finishing on this is just so glossy, so smooth. Amazing, amazing work. So I do know that this wood on the outside is York gum burl. I don't know that much about trees, sadly, or wood, so I will need to look that up, but it's beautiful. And I really like the engraving. Yeah, I was definitely in my maker era at the St. Louis Pen Show. I just got a couple, well, a few. It was a good mix, I'd say. All right, next up was a pen that I was gifted for helping at the Tasha table. As I mentioned earlier, Sujin is just so generous, so nice. And she gifted me a pen that was on my list anyway. I was planning on picking this up. I saw Lori Tata from Time with Tata grab this at the Chicago Pen Show, and I was like, what? This is a weird one. It's so beautiful though. This is the Tasha Covenant SE in Parchment Swirl, and it has a zoom nib on it. And this is my first zoom nib. This is my first Tasha pen, so very excited about this. But let me show you this pen. Let me show you. Look at the cap. This is the cap. This is the pen. They are the same size, but you can post it and it screws to post. And look at it. Oh my God. It's ridiculous, but also so classy and elegant. Where else are you going to find this? I'm obsessed. Look how thick and juicy this zoom nib is. It does change with angle. And it keeps up with fast writing so well. It just makes me so happy. It's so weird and beautiful. Okay, speaking of weird and beautiful, I have another one for you that just kept calling to me because it was so weird. I kept picking it up, and it's from a new maker to me. This is from Derail Pens, and this is the Durrell model. And just look how funky this little swirl pen is. Woo. But it's so cute. It's so just wacky. It's got to be the wackiest pen that I have in my collection. Again, forgot to ask about the name of the resin, but I found the perfect name. It's going to be called Dirty Soda Swirl because this reminded me of like taffy right away. I'll put up a picture of what Dirty Soda taffy looks like, and then really no more explanation needed because it looks like this. But I got this with a medium nib and it's a good time. Okay, I have one more pen and I got this one as the show was closing. And it was a pen that was on my almost grail list, like it was making its way to the grail list, because on my wish list in general this year, I had a Mont Blanc 149, but then I tried the Jinhao dupe and thought it was a little big. And I was like, maybe a 146 instead. But I kind of don't want my first Mont Blanc to be a black one just because, like, not that black pens are boring, but I have enough of them and I just want something else. So I found this Mont Blanc Classique, like this Olympic heritage dusty blue Mont Blanc, and I was like, you know what, I'll put it on my lookout list. If I see it and it's at a decent price, then maybe I'll get it. But I did not think that I would find it at the next pen show that I went to. And so my lovely husband went in halfsies with me and I got my first Mont Blanc. This is the Mont Blanc 1924 Paris Olympic Heritage Classique. And yeah, the color is beautiful. I think it's going to be inked up with Ferris Wheel Press Storied Blue because the match is like spot on. I gotta show it to you. Hold on. Ferris Wheel Press Storied Blue. Like, give me a better match. Saturate is also really pretty as well, but I need to ink it up with Storied Blue immediately. But this one actually is a cartridge converter fill, and I was just so excited to write with it that I already put the black cartridge in here, and so I need to clean it out and all of that. But even like the little details, the little Olympic engraving on the cap there, so cool. There's a little engraving on the cap there. What are you doing? There it goes. It says Olympic Winter Games, Chamonix, 1924. There's a person in skis on the nib. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there's a person hopping a slope on the nib. That's really fun. And apparently this is a fine nib, but I don't know. It's kind of writing like a medium to me. But yes, very excited about this one. So that is what I grabbed at the St. Louis Pen Show. As I said earlier, I was not planning on getting this many pens. I just had like 2 or 3 on my list. So yeah, I need to chill. I only left a couple of slots in my pen case. And so it was a little bit of a struggle. Luckily, people give pen sleeves with pen purchases, so that is a thing. But next up is San Francisco, and I'm being really intentional with this one. It's a larger show, and I'm looking forward to seeing pen friends, taking workshops, and enjoying those pen show after dark hangouts. I really enjoyed seeing many of you in St. Louis. I got to shop with Sherry, chat with Nancy. Thank you for the birthday treats. Gossip and giggle, and just be excited about stationery with new faces and familiar faces. Always a good time, and I always appreciate the kind words in person. So overall, enjoyed the show. The hotel was amazing. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I brought back. Let me know if you have any questions about anything down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.